A good day to everyone. Welcome to Unit 4 Analysis and Interpretation of Assessment Results. This unit is where all the hard work of giving tests and gathering data finally pays off. Our central goal here, as stated in our learning competencies, is organizing and presenting data to make inference about students' learning that can then inform instruction. Okay, so before we proceed to this lesson, let me give you first our learning objectives. At the end of the discussion, the learners are expected to A. Define the textual presentation and understand the factors to consider in textual presentation of data. B. Recognize the example of textual presentation using a chosen format. And letter C. Appreciate the importance of organizing information clearly and effectively for different audiences. Before we present anything, we must first analyze and interpret. Analysis. This is the process of breaking down the raw scores. You calculate things like the average scores or central tendency to see how spread out the scores are dispersion. You're finding the fact and figures. And interpretation, this is the meaning-making step. You ask, what do these facts mean by teaching? A mean score of 78% isn't just a number. The interpretation might be, most students are proficient but a specific concept needs reteaching. When we analyze assessment results, our goal isn't just to calculate scores. It's to communicate findings effectively so they can inform instruction. This leads us to the concept of presentation. So what is a presentation? It is the process of organizing data into logical, sequential, and meaningful categories and classification to make them amenable to study and interpretation. This refers to the organization of data into tables, graphs, or charts so that logical, statistical conclusion can be derived from the collected measurements. In assessment, presentation is the organized, methodical display of analyzed data. It's the bridge between your raw statistics like averages and spread and the final decision making about students' learning. Without good presentations, your analysis is invisible. We organize this presentation in various formats. Today, we zoom in on one format which directly addresses the core of our lesson, textual presentation. What is textual presentation? Textual presentation of data means presenting data in the form of words, sentences, and paragraphs. These methods comprises presenting data with the help of paragraph or a number of paragraphs. This kind of presentation is useful when we are looking to supplement qualitative statements with some data. For this purpose, the data should not be voluminously represented in the tables or diagram. So, this is the method where findings are communicated primarily through words, sentences, and paragraphs. It allows the researcher to interpret, connect the dots for the audience. Also, textual presentation is the systematic structuring of data findings into narrative form, while tables show what the numbers are. Text explain what the numbers mean in a clear, flowing manner. Let's look at how we translate data into text. Imagine a recent test where we calculate measures of central tendency or mean median mode. The mean score is 78, the median score is 80, and the mode score is 82. Here's the example. The performance of the unit test centers around the 80% mark as confirmed by the median score. The mean score of 78 suggests that while the majority of students grasp the content, there is a slight downward pull from a smaller group who scored lower. The median 80 represent the exact middle score when all scores are ranked from lowest to highest. It is the point where 50% of the class scored higher and the 50% scored lower. Because it is the point dividing the class evenly, it is often the most stable and representative measures of where the typical students fall. The text correctly uses this measure to establish the center of the student's performance. Since the mean 78 is lower than the median 80, it indicates a negative skew in the data distribution. This downward pull means there are likely a few students who scored significantly lower than the rest of the class. Very low outliers. These low scores drag the overall average down from the true center 80 towards 78. And lastly, the mode 82, which is the most frequent score, being the highest of the three measures 82, 80, 78, reinforces this interpretation. The most common score is slightly above the middle score 80, which further confirms that the bulk of the class was successful, but a few low scores pull the overall average into 78 down. See how the text synthesizes the three measures to identify patterns. We are making an inference about learning based on how the central tendency measure relate to each other. To ensure your textual presentation is effective, you must follow the key factors. The first one, be concise. Keep sentences short and direct. Don't waste the reader's time with unnecessary fillers. The second one, avoid vague language. When presenting data, do not use subjective words like too much, many, or always. Stick to precise percentage and counts. For example, instead of saying many students like the modules, say 85% of the students like the module. The third one, use numbers for support. Every claim you make in the text must be immediately followed by the statistical proof to make credible inference about students' learning. And lastly, clarity and simplicity. To ensure your language is simple enough for the audience to follow without effort. Finally, let's wrap up with appreciating the importance of clear organization by weighting the pros and cons. So, what are the advantage and disadvantage of textual presentation? Let's proceed to the advantage. The first one is interpretation. It allows you to elaborately interpret findings and provide context. The second one, qualitative data. It's the best way to integrate non-numerical findings. Example given, student feedback. And last, emphasis. You can directly emphasize most important result you want the audience to see. Let's proceed to the disadvantage. The first one, overload. It is not sustainable for large sets of data. Readers get lost in words. The second one, slow reading. It takes longer to draw conclusions than glancing at a chart. The last one, lack of overview. It hides the overall pictures or distribution patterns. So, why do we use it? We use it because we appreciate the importance of organizing information clearly for different audiences. For a busy school head, a quick, well-written paragraph is better than a huge spreadsheet. By using this format correctly, we efficiently communicate our data and ensure our analysis truly informs instruction. To summarize all of that, Stacksoul presentation is about narrative. It depends the results, it follows simply rules for clarity, and it gives context to the numbers. It just has to be statements that serves as fitting evidence to our qualitative evidence and helps the reader to get an evidence idea of the scale of a phenomenon. The main aims of textual presentation are to focus attention to some important data and to supplement tabular presentation. Okay, so before we end this video, I would like to give you this quotation. Numbers have an important story to tell. They rely on you to give them a clear and convincing voice, by Stephen Few. Here, we have a various data that can be presented. It is up to us on how are we going to present those data in clear and convincing manner or voice. Do you have any question about when you should choose to write your results versus when you should chart them? If it's none, that would be all. Thank you. Bye.